And thank you for listening to KPSU. I am your host, DJ Rochelle, and you're tuned in to Live Fridays, where we have a band playing in the studio every week. In fact, you can hear them warming up behind me. I believe our sound engineer is still checking the horns and the upright bass. But we'll be live here shortly with Stephanie Strange and the Familiars. Sorry, it's Strange and the Familiars. But of course, before we get going, I have to remind you as always that the views and opinions expressed in the following program do not necessarily represent KPSU, Portland State University, or any of our participating affiliates. Listener discretion is advised. Okay, you've all been warned. Before we get them playing, though, we got to thank some of the people that help make this station possible and tell you about some other cool stuff going on around town and all the lovely PSAs, so stay tuned, and you'll be hearing Strange and the Familiar shortly.
Chris, you're not acting like a grown-up in our relationship.
Am too.
There's your comic book collection, the race car bed.
I'm young at heart, but I put money into my 401k every paycheck. I'm taking control over my financial life, and that feels pretty grown-up to me.
Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org. Are those footy pajamas?
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
This is RJD2, and you're listening to KPSU right now in your ear holes. Keep doing it.
Portland State students, did you know that you have access to free food? The Portland State Food Pantry is an excellent resource available to all students enrolled in at least one credit. We offer dairy products, fresh produce, canned goods, other non-perishable items such as pasta, rice, and we also even have meat on a weekly basis. We are open Monday through Friday from 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. We are located in the Smith Student Union basement, room 047. Bring your ID and your own bag as well. It's first come, first serve, and you can come every day that we're open. There are also some volunteering opportunities, so swing by the Portland State Food Pantry for more information.
Serving up guitar goodies since 1996. It's the Guitar Shop on KPSU Radio. Wednesdays 4 to 6 p.m. Rock, jazz, blues, experimental, classical. It's all here on the Guitar Shop, Wednesdays 4 to 6 p.m. on KPSU.
Check out my new time machine.
Does it work?
Hit the button.
Hey, it's Napoleon.
Oui. Check out the future.
Hey, you have a nice house. Why don't I?
You didn't save any money, buddy.
If only there was a way I could go back in time and fix that.
Yeah.
Save something for the future. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Okay, you can hold it.
Hey, this is Rodrigo from Saves the Day. You're listening to KPSU, Portland.
Yes.
Dear Smokey Bear, for teaching us how to prevent wildfires for 70 years, outdoor lovers everywhere want to give you a bear hug.
I want to give Smokey a bear hug for teaching me that a fire isn't out till it's cold.
For teaching me to douse my fire with water, stir the ashes, and douse it again.
For showing me that sparks from a dragon tow chain can start a wildfire.
For being a big fuzzy bear. I like big fuzzy bears.
Happy 70th, big guy. Let's bring it in for a bear hug. Come on.
Wish Smokey a happy birthday using hashtag Smokey Bear Hug. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state foresters, and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Sam from Quasi. I'm far from a radio right now, but if I was close to one, I would tune it to KPSU.
Hello, and thank you for tuning in to KPSU. I am your host, DJ Rochelle, and now ready to perform for you live here on Live Fridays in the KPSU studio. Here is Strange and the Familiars.
was discovered that the species human was developing consciousness. We sent a team to the surface of Earth to live amongst them and report back. Today we hear the transmission of an agent calling herself Strange. On the brink of extinction, me, oh my, they're dropping like flies now, and they fall like dominoes. Doesn't it feel like the world is ending? Tick tock. If you feel like you're doomed, that's because you are. I'm just saying, I hate to report on the state of these self-forsaken creatures. They threw it away. They threw it away and then they cried, oh, they threw it away, oh, they threw it away and then they cried, oh, they threw it away, oh, they threw it away and then they cried, they let 1% play, and they sold their lives as if time was a game. They threw it away, oh, they threw it away and then they cried, oh, they threw it away, oh, they threw it away and then they cried, they threw it away, oh, they threw it away, oh, they threw it away, they threw it away, oh, they threw it away, they threw it away, they threw it away, oh, they threw it away and then they cried, oh, we threw it away, oh, we threw it away and then we cried. It has been decided that the species human will go untampered with. We are curious to see what unfolds. As for Agent Strange, her time on Earth has been temporarily extended, despite the Council's concerns about her general state. Now can I come home? Please can I come home? the veil is lifting. The strange and unusual, nocturnal and delusional, we are rising. We know it can be quite scary in a sugar-coated world when fangs are unfurled. My, what big eyes you have, oh, what sharp teeth you have, oh, what big hands you have, oh, what sharp claws they harbor. Can't you feel the worlds colliding? Mercury in retrograde can't explain this all away. We know you've been scared of your darkest places. What if the so-called monsters, they protect your fragile heads? My, what big fears you have, oh, what dark thoughts you harbor, oh, what big fears you have. It's enough to pull one under. You're safe here, quoth the raven, nevermore. We'll leave the light on for you, quoth the raven, nevermore. All your dreams will come true, quoth the raven, nevermore. You're on top of the world, quoth the raven, nevermore. Can't you feel the ground is shifting? Can't you feel your nightmares rising? We know they can be quite scary, unsavory, and unseemly. We recommend that you hold them loosely. My, what great dreams you have, oh, what high hopes you harbor, oh, what great dreams you have. It's enough to make one stagger. Can't you see the veil is lifting? The strange and unusual, nocturnal and delusional, we are rising. We are rising. We are rising. Oh, yeah, there's a tone, all right.
Thank you, first of all,
Oh, thank you for having us. This is the first time we're all here together. We love KPSU. I'm an alumni. I mean, unless that means that you had to have graduated, in which case then I'm not.
I'm a double alumni then? I don't know.
Nice.
We'll go with that.
Opposite ends. We're holding down both ends of that spectrum.
That's all right. We're both here, though, so there you go.
There you go.
Okay, well, let's introduce everyone and what they play. And I am DJ Rochelle, for those just tuning in. I'm she, her, and I am your host.
My name is Stephanie Strange, and my pronouns are she, her.
And you play?
Oh, I play guitar, and I sing. Yep.
And she writes all the songs.
And I do a little writing.
That's, yeah.
A little bit of writing.
I'm Margaret Ware, she, her pronouns, and I'm singing backup and playing violin today.
Tim Karplus, he, him. I'm playing some drums today. And Stephanie also writes some very lovely prose, too, if you ever get a chance to read it.
Oh, thank you, Tim.
I'm Julio Appling. I'm he, him, and I'm playing upright bass.
Nate Purcelli, he, him. I'm playing the trumpet.
Nate, I got a favor to ask you. I need you to step forward like half a foot. There you go. Yeah. Or at least while you're performing, because we were like trying to jack up the sound to get your trumpet in there.
I've never heard that phrase.
That's like the technical term for like increasing volume by a whole lot. Whoever thought that would happen? Which I gotta wonder that. Okay, trumpets again are not quiet, as Julio said. How is band practice? How do you manage it with this much sound and this many people?
You know what? It's pretty easy. We go to Tim's house. He's got a nice basement. He's got a PA set up, and it works out pretty well, surprisingly enough. But we put Nate like 2 floors away. He plays upstairs, and it's been going very well so far.
What is band practice like? Like, how much of the time are you actually focused on playing music, and how much are you just hanging out?
Oh my gosh, we're always playing music. Yeah. Someday I'm gonna force you all to have dinner with me, but we're in and out. You know, we practice for a couple hours, and then we're done.
So I'm assuming this is like super professional. You have like a list of like, hey, this is what we're doing today, and we're going through it.
Incorrect.
So
I do like, I'm just like, well, what do you think about this? What do you think about doing this song? This was our set list from this one. I have a new song. What should we do? Somebody help me. And everybody always does. And we figure it out.
Okay. I'm going to ask Margaret to chime in because she's on the opposite side there to tell me what band practice is like from your perspective.
Ooh, that's a good question. Stephanie actually runs like a very efficient ship, I would say. I play and sing with a lot of bands, and like everybody does it different, and there's like good things to all of the ways. But I definitely appreciate like she's like we have a good mix of ease and having fun, but also it's just like we're here to knock out the songs and make sure we're on point. So yeah.
Awesome. Efficient.
I like the little happy dance you're doing there. That's great. So since you are the primary songwriter, when you want someone to contribute a part, like you want drum section in here, how tight is that where you're like, this needs to be the drum section, or is it, maybe we can have the upright bass be the rhythm on this?
That we play around with. I don't usually come with, it's pretty rare that I come with saying, this is exactly what I want to hear. It happens, but even then I don't figure out what people are going to play or anything. It's just like, I'm thinking about this, and sometimes we try that and it doesn't work. A lot of times somebody else has an idea, but everybody really writes their own parts, and there's not, I don't need to do much because everybody's coming with everybody in this band is creative in their own right, and also really like honors and respects the music and what we're trying to do. So there's nothing to do. I just show up and I bring some pizza sometimes and play some songs.
All right, Julio, I'm going to hand the mic to you and have you chime in with, now don't abuse the privilege. tell me what band practice is like when you're trying to add your section, or how do you approach adding your part to a song?
I think it's a very iterative process for us. I think Stephanie has a lot there in terms of just like the message is there, the tone is there. It's like, and a lot of what we do is just kind of play through it and then kind of think back on like, okay, what's one thing that I might want to change there? But it's a very, I'd say a very iterative process in terms of just kind of hearing it and giving it a chance to sit. And then sometimes we get a chance to hear our recordings of ourselves, and that's where we're like really a lot more kind of sticklers about, oh, okay, I need to do that differently, or I need to try that. But there is definitely a period of everything settling. And then once everything settles and we kind of have a, as I've heard some folks call it, the MVP, the minimum viable product, where it's like everybody has something that they can play. And then after we have that, then we can start kind of tweaking and deciding like, oh, okay, I'm going to do this a little different. I'm going to put a bow on this part. And sometimes we try things and I'm like, oh, that was not a good idea. Wow, let's not do that next time. But it was it was good that we tried.
Okay, Nate, now I got to ask you, trumpet-wise, how did you introduce your sound, and have you tried playing any other instruments or other things you're adding into the band?
Let's see, how did I introduce my trumpet sound, Stephanie? I think we kind of met like during COVID, right? Like
You recorded your track at home when we were making Strange World album, which Tim produced. And that was the first thing. We just kind of sent the track to you, and I don't know how much you gave Nate to go on, Tim.
Oh, that was pretty much, I was just like, we want it in this section, and do something. And he just kind of sent me something, and it was like, that was everything
that was the thing.
And the bizarre thing that COVID did, when I first met Stephanie, I literally didn't know who she was, and I just passed her by, and then I played on your album. Yeah. And
that's right.
And here we are now. Yeah.
I think we went to the same Mississippi studio show.
Yes.
I'm like, you.
Why do I know you?
Play the trumpet real quick.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I try to play other instruments. I'm horrible at drums, but I play bass and guitar a little bit, and that's fun. I like to do all the things, just like Tim. Tim plays like all the instruments. He's awesome.
It's really worth visiting people's solo projects in this band. Deepest, Darkest, Tim Carr Plus. Julio plays in a lot of things. There's a lot of things though.
I'm going to hand you the mic, and let's see if you can do like the auctioneer sound of just listing them off.
Oh, we should do that for Margaret too.
So I'm just a sideman. So folks that I've played for include, let's see, Russell Street Jam, Tim Carr Plus, Stephanie, Ann Weiss recently. Now I feel bad for the folks I'm going to forget. There's
Laura
a new jazz.
Ivansey.
Laura Ivansey. It's been a bit, but yeah, Laura Ivansey. I can't legally say that that's true, but let's just go ahead and say that it was acknowledged that I played with Aerosmith. And then recently a jazz group called the Backburners. And yeah, and just it's been a few over the years, but I'm not a songwriter myself. My brain has never gone that direction, so it's fun to be able to meet people through their own music and just find a way to contribute that way. So.
Of course, if you think of others midway through, you can suddenly go, wait, there's one more. You can just wave at me.
And Margaret writes her own music, beautiful music, but you also play with a ton of wonderful musicians.
That's true.
Yeah.
This is a good town for that.
It is.
A lot of people making good music.
There's no shortage of bands in this town, that's true.
There is no shortage of bands.
And you're welcome to give them shout outs if you would like.
Oh my gosh. How much time do you have?
How quick can you be?
Yeah, I think most recently I just got off a tour with Chris Purica, doing vocals and violin as well. And I do a lot of singing with Jacob Miller and Isabeau Vaiu-Walker. I was in Ila Bamba for the last 5 years or so, and some singing with Haley Johnson, Olivia Aubrey, ton of folks, Alexis Mahler. So many good ones.
So many good ones. You don't have a dud in the bunch.
No. I was going to say, I think most of those have been on the PDX Pop compilations. Yeah, so there you go. Okay, shifting back to your music now.
Yes.
what song are you going to play next?
Oh, next we're going to play She's a Nightmare, the first song that came from this strange world. First, this feral black cat came into my life when I was having a really hard time, and her name came to me, and then the name of the band and my stage name, and then this song, and then everything else came after this. But this was an evening when she had disappeared for a while. She was still very much feral, and I had kidnapped her and kept her in my house, and she managed to get really, really high up in the kitchen and break into my roommate's bag of Costco-sized Doritos. And I picked her up, and she was so cute, and I put her next to me on the couch, and I wrote this song while I smelled Dorito dust, and I could see it on her little black face. And this was during a really tumultuous time in the world, so this whimsy came together with the politics of the world being really dark, and that has kind of defined the strange world.
And that's a beautiful image to kind of encapsulate all of that. The black cat with the Dorito dust being the darkness with the silly.
It was the brightest thing she ever ate, and she ate a lot of things she wasn't supposed to.
Okay, well, next when I come out, I'll be asking you to tell me more of that full story, including the comic book and all of the things that have come from it.
Sure.
But let's go ahead and hear this song, the thing that started it all.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
She walks in your dreams while you are sleeping in places best left unseen. She dances with skeletons in your closet, the monsters under your bed. She's a nightmare. She might be worse than the things that she fights. She's a nightmare. It's quite likely she's worse than the things that come out when you turn off the lights. But she's no innocent. No, she's no innocent. She's a nightmare. You're thinking, what did I invite into my bed? And you're right to wonder. You're right to be scared, 'cause you've got a nightmare. Demons scatter wherever she roams. Yes, you've got a nightmare. But while she'll make your dreams right, she can't speak to the monsters that walk in the light. She's no innocent. No, she's no innocent. you. Should we keep going? Okay. Look at my set list here. Check my Instagram. This is a song called Leave Me Alone or Take Me to Bed, and it's from the first album, Pretty Deadly, which, while it didn't have a comic book that went with it, it was inspired by a local comic book by the same name. And Kelly Sue DeConnick was the artist on that. I am an inchoate creature, though sometimes it feels like I'm on a mission to go mano a mano with my own doom. And I am determined to go out with a boom, with tricks like these. All the places I could see, all the places I could go, in a handbasket masquerading as a limousine. Don't be mean, treat me gently as you would a child. Won't you hold me gently as you would a child? If I paint my nails red and I turn on the blues, you'll know I'm in a mood, but you can still win. You have to choose to leave me alone or take me to bed. Leave me alone or take me to bed. I am a fickle beast, otherwise known as W.O. Man. I could set my heels in, but that don't sound like fun. I've heard cats can dance, but all dogs go to heaven. Still, who does everybody want to be? Everybody wants to be, which tells us that cats can dance. They just value their privacy. Yeah, they just value their privacy. But if I take off my shoes and I sing the blues, you'll know I'm in a mood, but you can still win. You have to choose to leave me alone or just take me to bed. Leave me alone or you can take me to bed. They say everybody Everybody, everybody wants to be a cat, they say. Everybody, everybody, everybody wants to be a cat, they say. Everybody, everybody, everybody wants to be a cat, they say. Everybody, everybody, everybody wants to be a cat. But you can't get a good dog down. Leave me alone or take me to bed. Yeah.
One of those old school smoky blue light bars that
Especially that version. That was like
Right.
through that we were doing it a little molassesy. Like, all
That's a
right.
good word for it.
Yes.
Okay, so for the song we heard before that one was kind of your intro to the strange world.
Yes. Yes.
Tell me more about the creation of that world and kind of where it is now. What's happened?
It was a couple of years ago, and well, my first band, we broke up, and we loved each other very, very much, and it was not smooth, believe it or not. And I stopped playing music for a while, and I quit drinking, and I was having a really hard time with it. I did not expect sobriety for some reason to be harder than drinking, but it was harder, and I was like, what is this? I hate it, and everything and everybody. And I had a really hard time letting people in and connecting with them. But this little feral cat popped into my life, and she jumped up on my chest while I was reading one day and started purring and looked into my eyes with her big green eyes. And she was just magic. She came with two brothers, Nicholas and Ned, and we'd had a lot of stray cats in that neighborhood. It was the highest feral cat population for those years, which is a story I tell during my set why that is. But these three, they showed up together, and they weren't like baby kittens. And they were just weird and mysterious, and they were the talk of the town. We all knew all the kittens, and we were like, who are these three who just came out of nowhere? And she came into my life, and I remember we were batting around names, and then Nina Nightmare came, and all my friends were sitting on the porch, and everybody went, ooh. And I was like, that's the name. And then Stephanie Strange seemed to fit it so well. And Strange in the Familiars, and these stories just started blooming, is what I say, because they came really naturally, and they just started bubbling up next to my story, the one that was hard and not as interesting to me as I had magical powers, and this cat has magical powers, and it really helped me understand it and weave and navigate, and artists started coming on board for it. I'd already played with wonderful musicians, but as a concept, it really started coming together with more of these songs, and then we turned a short story into a comic book. Myself and Jay Reynolds is the local artist, and he had drawn a picture of me from Facebook, and I reached out to him because he was in my neighborhood, and we met, and I was like, let's do a comic book, and so, or a children's book, and then he was having some trouble with it, and he was like, no, this is horrible. It's a comic book now. I'm sorry. And I looked at it and I was like, oh, this is amazing. This is what I always wanted to be. Then we got together for How Stephanie Became Strange, which took a couple of years, 3 maybe. And that goes with the comic book and really helped develop the fact that this is more than just kind of quirky songs, that there's a whole universe that I'm trying to build with this. And since then, a lot of artists have lent their talent to it, and that's what I hope for Strange World, is that artists and musicians can jump into Strange World and make it their own and add their special thing that they do to it to help it be real.
And I'm so glad to hear it is a comic book and not the children's book you originally started, because I can think of so many not safe for family sort of things that would be in.
Yes. There's I talk it through with Tim quite a bit. Tim is one of my oldest friends, and we talked. He asked, "Well, what's the age range you're going for?" And I was like, "I don't know, kids." So we've talked about some ideas that are geared more towards children, more towards teen audiences, and then the stuff that's for mostly adults, but who are young at heart and full of wonder and are down with magical black cats.
Now, that comic book is not readily available at comic stores right now. I mean, it was stocked there, but it's currently sold out.
Yeah. After, let's see, we had a Mississippi studio show together. And then the next day, I went out and I Instagram storied everything. And I went from store to store. I went to Pals and I went to Books with Pictures and I went to Floating World Comics. And then I had these big plans to drop it off at every comic book store and keep really good track of it. But I went into the hospital the next day. And I have not done anything since then. But I did find out yesterday that all those comic books are sold out. So it's time for me to pick that back up and start doing the distribution thing. But for now, coming to a show is the best way to get the comic book and the other cool merch that we have.
So instead of trying to find it at the local comic book, they can just go to your next show, which you've got one tomorrow.
Yes, there's one tomorrow, December 2nd. Doors are at 7. The show starts at 8. It's with Charming Disaster, a folk goth duo from Brooklyn, and Jet Black Pearl is a local artist who, if you don't know Jet Black Pearl, you really, really should. Genuine. I don't like to throw the word brilliant around too lightly, but I really like her a lot and the things that she does. She works with a guy who does bubbles, huge bubbles, the Bubble Man.
Right, and she plays accordion, which...
She plays the accordion, and she's cute.
Which, I don't know if everyone else is nerdy like me and watches a lot of PBS, but she was on one of the Oregon Art Beat PBS things, and that's how I actually found Jet Black Pearl.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, very interesting.
Yes, so for those who are unfamiliar with her, it's hard to describe her sound. I'm trying to think of how to describe it. It's sort of folky, but dark.
Demented carnival. Throw baby tiny little monkeys into a sack and shake it really hard and then let them loose and then put a glitter bomb into the room while the monkeys are running around ripping things apart.
So destruction and sparkles.
Yes.
Okay, I like that description.
That was just the first thing that came to me. I'm not good with traditional descriptions of music. You should see when I'm trying to get into a venue. They like it or they don't.
I love the visuals you create, though, which is really fun.
That's the first thing.
Right, which I imagine collaborating on something that is visual, like the comic book, was probably a lot easier for an artist when you would give that sort of a visual description.
Yeah. It is, and every artist is different, but I work most intensely with Jay, whose handle is Stuffed Skullcat, and he, it was such a beautiful marriage of our ideas because I have this world, and it was just me kind of like walking him through it, and we adapted the story together from short story to comic. We mapped out where each of the panels was going to be and what needed to change as we went, but it's just, what he brought me was just so beautiful, and maybe a little edgier than I was expecting, and I really liked it.
It was fun. You've collaborated with some other artists that are currently working on things. There's like works in progress. Can you tell us a little more about it?
Yeah, I am dreaming and talking about making a cranky box, which is a box and you put a light source behind it, and it's there's a scroll, and so you crank the scroll, so it's basically moving shadow puppets. It's an old form of storytelling, and I teach puppet making at the school I work at, and I'm not a puppet maker or a puppeteer, but I know enough to be able to do this crafty kind of class. And ever since I got into that, I was just like, more puppets, I need puppets in my life. So my friend Matt Hopkins has created Night Merriment, and he makes like monster heads and monsters. You might have seen some of it at the Goodfoot with Beth Merrick. He shows with her a lot. And so we've been talking about that cranky box and also a bunch of other ideas. Our worlds overlap quite a bit in the darkness and the whimsical stuff.
Which I enjoy. As I've talked to you before we started the show, I'm we read similar books, it sounds like, including Murakami, which is that genre of magical realism, which I feel is befitting of the strange world as well. It's a good title for it.
Absolutely, yeah. Magical realism. It was a struggle to figure out what exactly I was doing, and then I was like, oh yeah, that's what I'm doing. It's magical realism and song and visual art.
And you've expressed interest in working with more artists in the future. Is it a matter of just finding someone who also sort of fits that genre of magical realism, or is there a particular medium of art you're hoping to collaborate with?
Yeah, I mean, a lot. I dream a lot, and I would love for there to eventually be the band to one side of the stage, and dancers, and shadow puppets, and body puppets, and just delights, like a full production. In terms of like specific, I always remember the wins. I always remember the stuff that made it to the surface, but I definitely have started collaborations with people, and it became clear during the process that we weren't the same style, we didn't have the same idea, and those I just kind of quietly let drown, and they're there to this day. But yeah, I'm always looking for somebody with that darkness and the lightness combo. The idea is that I spent so long running away from my fears and running away from myself, and it caused a great deal of damage in my life that I spent a long time working to repair, and that I'm still working at every day. And my hope is that through this, it will encourage people who have that tendency to run away and to escape, to walk through their darkness and to face themselves and to ask themselves questions, hard questions. What are you afraid of? What's stopping you? Why are you doing this? And but I have found a great deal of lightness and a great deal of hope and toughness in that, in being able to dream and face it and work it out in this way. So the idea is that this is a roadmap for people who might be lost and might be running and might be panicked all the time, and they're hurting and they can't even really see it very clearly. I'm a big advocate of dreaming and making art, and it brings you closer to people and allows you to experience friendships when maybe you're having a hard time.
That's really beautiful. Okay, before we all get the waterworks, tell me about the next song you're going to play.
All right. Well, I think we should skip to Man Who Doomed the World.
Ooh, that's my personal favorite, which showed up on my Spotify rap that I haven't posted yet.
Oh, lovely.
Although you were not part of my artist videos, because there's the little video clips that you get of the artist messages from your top things.
Oh.
And it just had like a black screen and said Strange Familiars.
Oh, we didn't even have a picture. It's because I've been bad-mouthing the whole Spotify thing.
Now I know.
That's why. That's why. They're on top of it. They're just like, okay, if you're not going to play the game, we'll just... We're
just going to literally black screen all of this.
Yeah, exactly. But Man Who Doomed the World is like a gondola ride through the flames of the sort of an apocalyptic Disney sort of take on climate change and our responsibility in it, which sounds like it's not a boring song. That was a boring description.
No, that's why I enjoyed that clip of, it wasn't the robots, not yet, because that seems befitting of, our current discussions on AI.
I'm telling you. Now everybody's writing about climate change, but I was doing it when it was a real bummer and no one wanted to talk about it.
But as you said, there's that combination of light and dark where you have the melody that's very sort of soothing and lilting and almost waltz-like with the heavy lyrics.
Yeah, I call it the tickle and punch. That's my specialty. I like to give them a little tickle and soothe people. Bam! Cold cock 'em. Out. I don't really pull any punches with this stuff, but I like that juxtaposition. It's really unsettling.
That's fun. Just checking our time real quick. I did want to ask too with this song, how each of your band members, you met them and introduced them and how they sort of collaborated on this song.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, Tim I've known for a very long time. We met at Slim's in St. John's.
We met at was it the Twilight Room Annex?
The Twilight Room Annex.
And
yes.
I ran sound for Stephanie's old band that she mentioned that broke up, and we hit it off. It was a strange night.
It was
fitting of the current project.
I think Tim is the only person who knew me, for lack of a better phrase, in my old life. That night, it was chaos. It was like a kind of a rowdy crowd, and someone smacked me on the butt as soon as I walked into the room, and they just started like laughing hysterically, and I did too. And Tim was just like kind of there throughout a lot of that journey, many a day, in your studio with me, a puddle.
Yeah, but after that, Stephanie worked on the Pretty Deadly record with me at 8 Ball Studios, which is no longer there. It used to be in Southeast. And yeah, we've just kind of collaborated ever since. And then a few years ago, I started playing drums for the band, and then we started working on the Strange World record, and that kind of was the thing that pulled a lot of new energy into the band and the project.
Yeah, Tim, you've done keys before and bass once in a while, a guitar.
Yeah, guitar.
Yeah, but this was the kind of the final arrangement that we settled into, and yeah, we've become dear friends. And Tim has seen all the faces of Stephanie Strange. Julio, actually, I think Tim is kind of the hub of the band, to be honest with you, because I think Tim brought everybody in. You know a lot of people. You work with a lot of people, and it's usually like, you know who would be great with your stuff and who would work with your personality? Julio Appling.
Well, that's because Julio Appling works with every personality.
It's true. Universal. That's why.
He's the little black dress of musicians.
Oh, that's what you are. We'll charge it to the KPSU studio. And Nate, same thing. We met during the recording process. Well, not met. We didn't meet. We met afterwards at our mutual friend Bright Raven's show in Elsbeth, Ternana. Yep. And I saw them together, and she was playing solo, and he was she was playing guitar alone, and then he joined her, and it was so great. And I was just like, oh, we should do that too. And then Margaret, we knew each other before we started playing.
No, I can't actually remember at what point
I
we
know.
met.
I definitely.
It's
Oh,
woven together.
did you perform at my Al's Den residency before we started working together? You came and you played your solo stuff. It might have been something like that.
Yep.
Because
Rings a bell.
yeah, I'm a bit of an admirer. I don't know if I've said that, but wonderful, good.
Yep.
Yeah. So Margaret and I had shared a bill every once in a while, and then this album, I think Strange World, was when she came in, and I just kind of nab people as I'm able to, because everybody's really busy, either with day jobs or music taking them all over. So it's really nice because I love working with everybody. I like working in duos and trios, and when sometimes we have a 7-piece.
Yeah, I was going to say there's sometimes other members that aren't here today.
Yes, Mark Bowden is not here today. Such a shame. That's your faces are intact, but they wouldn't have been if he had made it. They would have been melted off. Yes.
This I can account for and vouch for, for sure. So your show that is tomorrow.
Yes.
What is the iteration of the band for that show?
Everybody you see here, plus Mark Bowden. So bring your face guards. Yeah, and we're just going to squeeze onto that Atlantis Lounge stage. Yes.
That'll be fun. Okay. What is your next song?
The next song is Man Who Doomed the World.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Thank you for that introduction. Let's hear it.
The sky, she is falling. The oceans, they are rising. It's time we started realizing it was man who doomed the world. It was not the monkeys, nor was it the birds in the trees. It was not the fishes, it was you and it was me. It was not the zombies zombies. Turns out it was not the robots, not yet. It was not the zombie robots, but wouldn't that have been kinda sweet? Come on, you know that would have been pretty sweet. It started long ago. We were doomed the moment greed took hold. And since then we've all just been along for the ride. Now the sky, she is falling. The oceans, they are rising, and everything around us is dying. And to the left, you'll see there's an island made of plastic. Don't mind the turtles, they're just suffocating. Straight ahead, you'll see the ice caps, they are melting. But it's nice to get some decent weather for a change. The price we pay for such beautiful imaginations. Never so much pain, never so much pain. Oh, the price we pay for such brilliant minds. Never so much pain, never so much pain. Oh, the things we say when we should hold each other dearly. Never so much pain, never so much pain. Oh. I can't help but calls them like I sees them. They say if you can't join them, you should beat them. And my famous right hook looks an awful lot like a song. But I'd hate to leave you crying. Lord knows I wish that I was lying. But the least that I can do is give you a better view. Well, the moon, she is rising. The oceans, they are rising too. And long after we're gone, they'll still be dancing. Yes, the moon, she is rising. The oceans, they are rising too. And long after we're gone, they'll still be dancing. There will be dancing, oh yeah. There will be dancing, oh.
We've officially got 30 seconds. If you can just do a quick station ID.
You're listening to KPSU with DJ Rochelle. We are Strange in the Familiars.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having us. Thank you, everyone here.